To hell with this nonsense. I've been doing this for way too long, and I still don't even know how to run this machine. It's a headache. Keeping it real, we both know that you're fat. Dude thinks that everything that Andrew Hiller says is basically gospel, which we both know is not true. And second of all, it's just you believe in Andrew Hiller because you guys no longer have a leader. It's like being stuck on a desert island and believing that Gilligan's the smartest person around. You guys are idiots. You guys are just idiots. He doesn't know anything. I would say Andrew Hiller, of all the people that I know, is probably an IQ level of like 80th percentile. And that's not bad. He's just really good at talking. Like there's people that work at, auto shops. Like, when you go get your oil change and they upsell you and tell you that your differential fluid needs help and you need to change your filters and everything. He's like one of those kind of guys. He's just a little bit better than the other guys that change the oil. And he's into CrossFit. And you think he's a genius, which is disappointing to say the least. Like if you really look at his career path before he got into vlogging, he went to community college, if I had to guess. He's probably still struggling to pay off the debt from it. And he's now bamboozled a lot of people that thought that they were gym owners, were just really personal trainers who went into debt also, aka CrossFit owners. And now you guys are all just sitting here in the mud, especially you, all chubby. We're not talking about anybody important. Let me just go into the show notes. There's so many things I want to talk about today. First of all, anybody who thinks that sports don't have levels of camaraderie, I want you guys to watch this. This guy feels so much camaraderie that he decides to punch this other dude in the penis. Now that right there is sportsmanship. He's like, hey, bro, I feel like you haven't been touched here in a while. How about I just knuckle it? How about I just dislocate your soul from your body for a few seconds here? There's no cup in there. Yeah. Yeah. This is nice. Entertain me, clown. I'm pretty sure your wife dresses you up to go to work every day, dude. You're a freaking pansy. I'm trying not to swear right now, so I'm stalling a little bit when I talk. So if you guys recognize that my cadence isn't normal today, it's because I'm holding back on the swearing. That's right. That's right. Hold on. There's something else I want to talk about. That one's something that we have to go over, which is freaking crazy. Oh, we'll talk about that in a second. Oh, check this out. This kid tested positive for meth at a cycling championship. Now, I'm not going to lie. I'm not condoning meth, but now I'm going to go on my rant. Of anybody getting caught for drugs recently, I have to give this guy the biggest props. I mean, the rest of the pussies in the world that are cheating, dropping EPO, all these kind of peptides, testosterone shit. This dude, if I was him, this is what I'm picturing. He goes to a local street corner, walks into a gas station. This is me, actually. You know those little things that have like a rose in them that have a glass case on them? Those are actually crack pipes. He goes in there, pulls out the rose, throws some rocks down the pipe, hits it, bashes it up, gets high as a kite, blasts it. By the way, I think he took like 42nd in this championship. So if you're going to get high on your own supply, dude, stand the fuck up and do something decent about it. Don't come 42nd place. And he decides to rip some meth and he gets caught. I mean, you might as well live if you're going to cheat. All this injecting and all like the hard work and trying to dodge the drug tests, that's kind of soft. This guy, on the other hand, 18 years old, barely has hair on his nugs, is out there hitting the pipe. Now, if I had to be really honest with you guys, if I had to guess, he probably put it in some kind of pill and ate it, which will still get you high. And it will give you, because they used to do meth and cocaine back in Tour de France. But the fact that it's back, the fact that these young children are going this direction and still cycling, not going to lie, was impressed. Was impressed that somebody finally had some guts. Because the typical cheating, who knows? They're saying it's ADHD medication. Who knows what it is? But I'm hoping it's the latter, which is the original story I told you guys. There's no way meth could work. Yeah, dude, it's a stimulant. It's great. I mean, whatever. You know, I'm going to bring this up because I thought we were done with this. Now, I'm just going to pause this and say, this is all, I don't know. You're supposed to say something just in case you get sued. This is all like alleged information. None of this is true. I can't prove any of this. Everything that I say is just banter. This is a comedy show. But just recently, the woman's, you know, the strong, I don't know, it's called World's Strongest Man, but for women. I'm going to say it that way. World's Strongest Woman. A dude won. Now, you guys can continue to watch this. This chick walks off because she was clearly pissed. There are so many layers to this conversation that are so insane that I can't even begin to say it because it's almost inappropriate. Like, this dude over here has an OnlyFans, supposedly, and is just flaunting what they have all over the place, and then comes in to the World's Strongest Woman contest and competes as a man, pretending to be a woman, beats everybody. Super proud. You can see that smile on his or her face. And then shortly thereafterwards, I feel like I got to go. Keeping it real, I feel like you'd have information on this because it's just so crazy. If you could send me like a link to it. I think in like Bar Spin. Let's try this. Bar Spin. They had something up where they reversed the ruling on it. And basically, oh, here we go. Now, official strong man games disqualifies after an investigation. Now, this is the craziest part. They let this dude compete all weekend long and then stand up on the podium and within like 24 to 48 hours decide to reverse it. That's wild. That's wild. Like, this is where I can see lawsuits coming in. Like, to allow that much thing, like it to go that far and then let the person stand on the podium and then last minute, like 48 hours, revoke it. Like, if I was this person, this is where this person sues. Because basically you let it go on for such a long time. Steal that day, all that hard competition from all the other women that are competing. Here we go. Supposedly has an OnlyFans where you can see all of it. I mean, this is just one of the most incredibly wild stories I've heard in a long time in this kind of case. It's not my specialty. It's not my specialty. Usually I talk shit about people that are doping, but this would be considered doping because you have a Johnson and you're totally ruining women's sports. And I mean, Christ almighty, like, to be the people that put on this competition and allow it to get that far, knowing that all this stuff is true. Like, it's not like all of a sudden you're standing there like, why is this woman 7 feet tall and has chin hair? And, you know, there's got to be rumors cycling around about the OnlyFans thing and everything. You got to just stop it. But no. So I would say this is probably, of this year, in any kind of case of this, I don't know, classification, the craziest one. The craziest one by far. I mean, it's hard to follow this one up for the rest of the day. Like, I had so many things I wanted to talk to you guys about. There was meth and Johnson punching. Oh my God, that one's terrible. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Oh, this is just an old thing about good movies. Let me pause and just read what you guys have been writing for a second. Check my phone, make sure that I'm not in trouble already. Okay. Well, nobody in my family's contacted me for saying anything that I said, so I think we're okay. Base. So, Brianna Shaw. I like that joke. I like that joke a lot. Yeah, look at this. There's people really weighing in on this stuff. You guys are really emotional. This person says women have no rights in sports anymore. Yeah. I mean, that's just crazy. It is crazy, crazy. Best Christmas movie? Home Alone, Die Hard. Fuck. I don't know, man. I think the Tim Allen Christmas movies are by far the best. I mean, since you got onto movies, let's just go here. Like, I want to show you guys what movies used to be like before they decide to hand it over to Disney and destroy it for everybody. Like, check this out. Like, this obviously makes no sense, but it's like simple scenes like this where everything kind of seems extreme and ridiculous. You just go on to recognize that, yeah, check this guy out. What's he going to do? Cuts a fly in half. This is what movies used to be like. Something else. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I had some more movie things around here that I can't figure out. But I will tell you, dude, movies used to be amazing, and now they just kind of suck ass. They kind of do suck ass. Except for this fucking stud right here. I've been studying this guy a little bit recently. There's Mr. Steal Your Girl, and this is 100% it. This is the European Championships, taking 8th place. This is basically rollerblade jumping. And I'm still just so amazed by the level of sports that are out there. And then the thing that I really want you guys to know about is just like the level of judging. I've been competing professionally in my sport for a long time, and I still find sports like this, and I'm just amazed by the level of professionalism in sports at this level. Like, look at the screen in the background and look at the judges here. Like, this is a real operation. I competed at High Rocks this weekend. No content whatsoever. Judging. Listen, I had a great judge. I'll give him that. But I saw some questionable shit out there. Jack Driscoll over here, the most emotional girl that I know. I thought me and Hunter were boys until he rooted against me in my solo race and then said, "Welcome to the jungle, pussy," during our doubles race. Still love you. Now, let's be honest. I've explained this completely. Jack is on a come up, and Jack's doing great. I was out there rooting for my homie who I've been racing with for over 10 years, Ryan Kent, who Jack ended up handling. Kent needs a little pickup, dude, and you're still caught up. And then the welcome to the jungle thing. Yeah, welcome to the fucking jungle, dude. You just watched a rocket ship go past you. I'm glad that you're coming up, climbing up the ranks. You're having some good scores. But I need you to taste what it's like, because I don't want you to be confused when you get to the Elite 15, you get your feelings hurt, and I beat you by 5 minutes. You need to taste that burn. And that's how it was for me. That's how it was for me. And that's called a hard love, dude, right there. A lot of people don't get that. This Elite 15 shit and all this competition shit where everybody's just slapjacking each other on the backs, it's some bullshit. I'll be totally honest. I treat everybody who I compete against with as much respect as I possibly can until I'm disrespected. And Jack, you've been at my house. You've trained with me. You've got a lot of love out of this thing. I will say other people don't get it. That kid Dylan Scott, who made that dramatic post after World Championships, tried to come up and shake my hand after the competition. I told him to go fuck himself. And he said, "I just want to say good race." And I said, "Suck my nuts." And his response, which was the oddest thing I've heard another man say to me when we were kind of just getting after each other, was, "I would if they were bigger." So in the end, we found out that he likes to suck big nuts. In my case, I found out that I don't give a flying fuck if you think I had a good race. If you disrespect me, you're in the shit pit with the rest of the turds. In that sport, we don't have to like each other. We don't have to say kumbaya after races. I don't have to respect the fact that you ran behind me about a minute and 20 slower than me. I don't have to do any of that. I don't. It's dang it. Was I swearing again? Shoot. But in the end, hey man, I love my job. I love my fellow competitors, some of them at least. Jack, you're just starting to get closer to the sun. There's a little bit more heat, pal. Before you were like a 60-minute guy. The closer you get, the hotter it gets. I think what I did, pal, was that there's functions in the back end of this thing, which I've never really focused on, which is called El Gato. And I just changed some things. Let's get going on to some interesting facts here. Remember how I always tell you can't really trust what's on the internet? Now, before I was telling you guys about that study, the Norwegian study that was showing that majority of strokes were happening after cold showers. Now, this supposed groundbreaking study says right here that reveals combining cold showers with nicotine can elevate your dopamine levels by 275%, surpassing the effects of cocaine. Now, this is where all the shit gets wild. You just never know. Because literally a week ago, I was telling you guys about a study that was saying it created strokes. There's too much contradicting information out there. I think, honestly, nicotine's great. I mean, I still use the stuff. This is my friend's company, Athletic Nicotine. I still chew tobacco. I think, honestly, stimulants like that in certain ways, it's the cat's pajamas. It was also interesting. I was watching a piece the other day that showed there's actually no studies that actually show that cigars lead to cancer. There's only 2 studies that somewhat relatively have information about cigars and studies, but it showed that if you have less than 4 cigars a day, that you're pretty much in the clear, which is wild. And that's why I smoke Black and Milds. Here's also another interesting study. So a half-field squat is a squat where you have a bar over the top of you, and you're using these 2 hand hooks right here, and you're going up and down. And it was wondering whether or not using this kind of support was going to change the amount of stimulus that you had when you were training. Now, if you were going to go talk to like any strength training gym that doesn't know anything about anything, they'd be like, that's not it. Now, I use these kind of bars all the time. Now, this is a typical squat right here. There's a lot higher risk. And unless you're a power lifter, I don't necessarily think that this is the best way to squat. But they were showing through these studies that it's such a small amount. I think it's under 10% less stimulus, like a significantly less than 10%. So being able to use things like safety bars is probably the best thing you've got going for you, because unless your only goal in life is to increase your squat, it doesn't really make the biggest difference. You're better off doing things as safe as possible and training as often as possible to make sure that you just keep on making improvements. Because even for myself, like this is right here, you guys can see, I'm going to put this on. It's only a 2% margin when it came to the force generation for the regular squat compared to the other squats. So that's what I was saying, under 10%. So it's absolutely wild. If anybody in here is just doing high volume training, do it. Oh, also, dude, this is what I'm talking about. Old school movies. Look at this. Ha! This is the kind of shit you have to deal with in Crestline. Ninja stars in people's mouths. Ah, God, I love it. I got a good horse video here for you guys. Let's see what this one is. Oh, yeah. This is just another one of those 6 street sports that I absolutely love. You don't know what's going on. Pure chaos, dirt everywhere, a little bit of dingus there. I don't know. I was just wondering why you couldn't see that. Oh, I wonder if they're going to take this video down now because this dude just got his ass kicked so bad. His pants are literally gone. You get a little bit of street meat there. I wondered why I saved that, dude. That is so funny. That is wild. God dang, I love the internet. Oh, God, that was so good. This is pretty interesting. Just recently, rowing world championships happened, and there's this guy named Ollie Ziegler who's like absolutely the most insane specimen in the world. I'll show you him in a second. Maybe I can show him to you right now. What's the thing that we can get rid of? Whatever. We'll go back to the rowing thing. So this guy right here, his name's Stefanos Nisutkos. He just won the Olympic 2K as an individual against Ali. Ali is like 6'8" German super freak. And the dude's just a freaking monster. And this young, much smaller guy who's 17 centimeters shorter than his rivals, which is insane. It is so insane. He just won the rowing championships. He's 6 feet, I think 6'1" versus 6'8". Guy used to be a former lightweight champion. And look at this guy. So right over here, you don't have to be worried about being such a beast. This is such a sick story. And I know you guys probably don't care about these things because you're thin in the head. But the fact that a dude of this size, like look at his rowing frequency versus Ollie over there in the background. And he gets the win. To be able to kind of drive with that much force, like look how deep he gets in the hole and he's just driving out with so much force. Now look at the size comparison. That's Ollie right there. You can clearly see that this young wee lad, sitting up on top of Ollie's shoulders here. The fact that that dude won is insane. So that's why I think people like Tiny Tim ain't so tiny. Now, unless you can produce force, you can't produce wins. This guy is clearly very, very strong, an absolute freak. But one of the more exciting stories I've seen recently in sport, I fucking love it. I don't know what the hell this is. Oh, dude, check this out. This is when sport used to be cool. Belly bucking back in the 1980s. You got to hold onto your belt loops, just slam each other. I'm betting on the red guy. I don't know if you guys saw just recently, but this is going to be by far the sickest part of our documentary once the HyperCon games come out. This is Murder Ball. Watch this tackle here. This was by far the greatest event that we had. Kind of like belly wrestling. But I'm telling you guys right now, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Let's see if there's anything else. Rolling Finn, I don't know how he did, but I can tell you right now, I love him. I don't think he won. Another Rowan story. I will say, like, an average level bodybuilder back in the day was basically C-bum now. Like, I think aesthetics have gotten so bad in bodybuilding because of the amount of gear that these guys are running, that this is Bob Paris, considered like, he never was a champion, but he was considered to be the most aesthetic dude that there was, just as far as proportions. And like, this guy would have been C-Bum's just destroyer. And the guy just had an insanely wild physique. This was like a low-level guy back in the day. And it's totally wild how dudes who used to be kind of just like mid-level competitors would probably mop the field up today. Like, I don't know. I love C-Bum. Don't get me wrong. I think C-Bum would probably actually beat this guy. But to me, wow, look at this. This is a physique where this dude's almost 240 pounds. But yeah, man, I miss the old school bodybuilding, like the good looks, dude. The good old boys. Okay. I'm going to let you guys figure this out for a second while I read the notes. I'm going to let you just watch this. Dude. Okay. Now, I watched this. So you guys get that to make this show, I'm cruising around the internet. I go into, let's just go into the grid here. So I look at my grid like this, and I just kind of grab random stories. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. This is interesting. So I'm kind of loosely watching this. And I'm watching it, and I'm just like, this is a bow championship. Like, these guys kind of suck. I had no clue until I read later that this was basically a visually impaired bow competition. I had no clue that these dudes were blind. And it took me, like, look at this. Like, that's clearly nowhere near the center. Obviously, it's insanely impressive to think about knowing that they're blind. I was like, yo, these guys got advertisements on their glasses and everything. Like, these guys are ballers. I had no clue that these dudes were blind. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I think I got to get into bow competing because I'd fucking wreck these guys. And yeah, it took me a while, but I'm not going to lie. Now that I know that they're blind, insanely impressive. Insanely impressive. What's this one? Oh, I'm not going to lie. This has nothing to do with our show, but if this is real and I want somebody to tell me, I'd 110% do this with the boys in Crestline. I don't know. Can somebody tell me if this is real? So supposedly this guy named Michelino Sanseri got a presidential pardon. I don't even know how that's possible. But basically, this dude got a presidential pardon. Oh, you don't think it's real? Dude, this was like a long piece I kind of watched. Like, it's on the Idaho News. So, like, that seems like a pretty responsible channel. He went up over the Grand Tetons to set some kind of record, and supposedly he crossed into a section which you're not supposed to run through to kind of circumnavigate around the harder part of the FKT, and he got, attacked by some kind of legal force where he was brought to legal charges, all sorts of kind of stuff. Like, it's a very hard challenge. And I guess what they're saying he did was scramble around a section you couldn't do. And he went through all these legal problems, and supposedly he just got pardoned by Trump. You guys might not like Trump, but if Trump actually went out of his way to somehow pardon this bro, I'm going to say that's pretty cool. Whatever else you think about him, that's your own piece. But in this exclusive little space and time, What a guy. What a guy. Okay, also, if you guys ever wondered what it looked like when I take sodium bicarbonate in the morning, that's it. I actually didn't take sodium bicarbonate before my race, and I will tell you guys that I've been doing it in my training a lot recently, and I know that I've had some problems. Let's just be honest. I had some problems, and I think it's a very valuable supplement, but it's just so risky. It can dehydrate you a ton if you're going to the bathroom, and it will affect your workouts negatively. So I went to the race in Dallas, and my goal was basically just to hit the gas pedal and go for the world record. Everything was going well. I didn't think anything about it. Now, for me, you go out and you start racing, and eventually you're going to feel in your body, because every single course is a little bit different. It's a little bit hard to gauge the pacing. There's eventually this kind of thing where you start to feel it in your legs and your body. You're like, okay, that right there is the level where if I keep on going, I'm going to accumulate too much lactic acid and I'm going to start to slow down. And when you have bicarbonate, you can kind of keep on riding through that line regardless. Your heart rate's going to go up, but for some reason, the muscular fatigue doesn't hit as hard. I never felt it. So I just kept on going and going and going. And it felt like I was almost on, record pace. Like I was on record pace, but I almost felt like I was on bicarb, but I wasn't on it. So maybe I won't do it anymore. And I'm not trying to hack on the company or the products or anything like that. But for me, it was just a lot. It was a lot to just do that week after week after week in training and just go to the bathroom so many times. My emotional health, tough, pretty tough. Couldn't handle it, but just saying. I haven't done it in a long time. Took 20 grams, felt the burn, delayed, but a 12-minute workout. Okay, that's interesting. I would never race with those guys. Why would you ask that question, Samuel? You piece of I'm not allowed to swear anymore. You are a total jerk. How about that? Yeah. I got that world record. Are you kidding me, dude? I could have done that. What about foot pain? There's just certain people on this planet that don't deserve my time. Certain people. Let's just see here. I thought this one was interesting. Now, I've told you guys a lot. Like, there's a couple sports in this world you don't trust. Top of the list, jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is usually just for people that are mentally unhealthy. They couldn't cut it in wrestling. They couldn't cut it in other sports. And they don't like their wives or their home life. And check this out. Bah, 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 bah. This guy's a black belt that supposedly got submitted by a purple belt. And look at this. That's what happens. That's what happens. The mental aggression that sits in your personal life ends up coming into the dojo. Every single time I've done jiu-jitsu, like I am actually a professional athlete. You know how to control your workouts. You know how to control your ego. Then there's these guys in gyms that have never done anything with a professional level. There's like one head orc who's the guy who gives out the belts. And then there's all the dumber orcs around them. So look at all the dumb orcs showing up, all with white belts. And they all look up to the black belt for some reason because he's just been paying a membership longer than other people. That's basically what a belt system is, by the way. It's like, hey, your credit is higher than everybody else's. Like you spent thousands of dollars in our dojo, in our PJ fighting room. And then when like somebody who hasn't spent as much money as them ends up beating them, they freak out. So I would come in with my wrestling background and I'd dominate these guys. And then when they got one over on me, they didn't know how to let go. They didn't know how to chill out. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Wow. That's not nice. Saying that in a fight league, I would place about 6th or 7th. This is what happens when you got guys with High Rocks podcasts always weighing in on my shit. Yeah. They don't test it, though. I don't know what the hell this sport is, but I found it, and I just think we should witness it. We're not going to talk about it too much other than the fact that this is basically what High Rocks looks like to the average person. You're saying, what the hell are those guys doing? And those people who are doing the sport are like, yes, this is the coolest thing I've ever done in my life. Take pictures of it so I can share it later. And then us on the outside are like, what the hell is going on? It's kind of my eyeballs on there. Don't forget about that Johnson punch. That's the meth head. Let's see here. There's got to be something that's kind of interesting. I do think this is pretty crazy. This is supposedly the greatest Strava segment of all time, and it's Shackleton. I've talked about Shackleton so many times. And if you haven't read about Shackleton, his book Endurance, which is biased, you know, people have wrote different versions of it, and there's people that were creating logs on their own and basically any different version of the story, but let's just stick to the facts, the basic blueprint of the story. This dude was basically for 10 months trapped in the ice, 500, basically he was on a journey for 589 days, so almost 2 years. 5 months of drifting on the ice floes, 7 days in open water in a lifeboat, which is crazy. 4.5 months stranded on Elephant Island, 16 days sailing 800 miles to the south of Georgia, 36-hour crossing frozen mountains for rescue. This is his segment of travel. So Elephant Island, all the way over there, basically telling the boys he's going to come back for him. I mean, dude, can you imagine just living out there on the ice with the boys? They were just killing whatever they could, eating it wherever they could, climbing over mountains, eating seals, penguins. The fact that these guys did this back in the day with the resources that they had is wild. Like, I can't even survive a cold day in Malibu. Gangsters, dude. Yeah. Well. Let's see here. Peptides. There's a lot of guys in here. Yeah. It is pretty wild the amount of people that are into peptides now. Like, you'd be surprised by the amount of people that I go over to their house and you open up the refrigerator and they have peptides in there. And nobody, because peptides are basically like a remarketed version of an anabolic. You guys are just scum. And the thing is everyone's got an affiliate link attached to it and nobody wants to do the hard work. Like, I'm up here in the hills doing the real work and I can't wait to find the boys that have been taking it. Because guess what? When the going gets tough, you guys are going to crumble. I will split you in half. You can take whatever you want. You can have lower body fat than me. You can have a little bit more muscle than me, but you don't got guts. You hot pieces of trash. And the reality is you guys are going to be stuck on that shit forever. You'll never be able to reach your goals. Because even when you get there, you're going to know that they're fake. Because when you go there and you're wearing a BPN hat, crossing the finish line in an Ironman with a shitty time, all cranked full of peptides, you guys know that you're a faker. And I just buried you on a Huffy. Dude, There's no way that I would hang out with CrossFitters in a zombie apocalypse. You guys, first thing you do is you cannibalize each other. You guys have no resources. You have no skills. You guys know that I put on this competition called the HybridCon Games every single year, and the CrossFitters come out, and they're always the ones that do terrible, at least in the events that like actually have anything to do with skill. You guys don't do it. You guys don't cut it. This is an interesting one. Nick Noritz consumed 720 eggs over a 30-day period. They thought it would jeopardize his health. Contrary to these expectations, his cholesterol improved and his hormone levels increased significantly. So this is where I'm saying, like, if you guys just like probably ate better food, drank clean water, and maybe like took care of yourselves, you wouldn't have to take all these peptide things. It's just wild. He had 24 eggs a day, approximately 133,000 milligrams of cholesterol. Remarkably, his LDL cholesterol decreased by 18%, while his testosterone levels surged by 79%. So instead of just like paying for synthetics, you just eat better food, sleep better. You know, I think you guys have just all been fooled by the pharmaceutical and medical industry that you guys need to be taking almost anything. Like, yeah, there's things that can support what you're doing, supplements. But at the end of the day, it's like the core of almost everything that you're doing needs to be the volume of healthy food, sleep, and water that you're intaking. And then on top of it, that just varies based off the amount of volume that you're doing in your sport. Whether or not you got to gain weight, lose weight, live longer, whatever it is. You guys got to recognize that, like, it's just like figured out. Like at this point, I'm pretty sure now, don't quote me, this is alleged through my basic reading. This guy who just won the Nobel Prize, let's see here, Nobel Prize won for autophagy. Let's see if I spelt this wrong. So this just happened. Where is this? No, where's the autophagy? Where's the autophagy one? Oh, this is 2016. Sorry. This guy basically won a Nobel Prize around autophagy. Basically, if you start fasting, that unhealthy cells will be ate up. I'm pretty sure that a lot of this science, not guaranteeing anything, also can help out a ton with cancer or just unhealthy parts of your body. And rather than taking medicine, just being able to fast and allow your body to kind of handle itself. You know, there's all this kind of stuff where if you don't just get like hooked on the medical science of just constantly taking more and more stuff to stay alive, rather than just like using the basics, you'd be better off. Eggs versus peptides, like a shitty diet and peptides, all this kind of stuff. I'm letting you guys know right now, y'all are on the wrong, you're on the wrong path. See if there's anything else I want to review in here. Woo! That is wild. That is wild, wild. Okay, let me show you something. Yo, have you guys seen this? This is wild. This is so bad. This company, it's so comical. Basically just copied High Rocks and now is putting on other events. Everything. It is everything that High Rocks is. It's wild. Same kind of venues, burpee broad jumps, lunges, 1,000-meter runs. They changed 2 movements. This is wild. And I just don't get it. Like, I don't want to make people's lives harder. Like, if you want to go out and exercise, go for it. But you have no idea the amount of people that have come up to me that have a bunch of money. They're like, Hunter, we want to start a new thing and we want you to be a part of it. And I'm like, what is it? And then it's a High Rocks. It's a High Rocks. And they just steal all of the marketing and branding. Like, how is that not a High Rocks? How many stations is it? I guess 10. But what's the difference between 8 and 10? Nothing. And I guess whatever. It's a little bit of different running. Wild. Wild, wild. I don't want to run a marathon, dude. Marathons are for turds. Marathons are for turds. Greg Glassman invented running also. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Dude, nobody really knows anything about the sport. But I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. I mean, Bo came and did it, and then he did a 52:41. So if you think about it, it's almost the same exact length as a High Rocks and timing-wise. So, I don't know, man. This shit's crazy. I will show you guys something I'm very excited about. Probably shouldn't do this, but I need you guys to focus here. We worked really hard on this thing. The Crest-Hooch documentary is coming out on Friday. There's also Black Friday. Like, I'm exhausted talking about Black Friday. Like, you guys get it. We have products that are way better than everybody else's products. It's 25% off. And if you spend $149 plus, you get a free Murph guide with it, which I'm very excited about. It's one of these kind of things that I worked on and studied for a really long time, thinking about it. And I think this is the best version of just getting in crazy good shape. But that comes with it. Go, shop, have a blast. Take whatever the heck you want. I believe in our product wholeheartedly, but I'm not trying to become this turd salesman. You guys are getting enough ads. If you love me, you'd care. But this is what I'm talking about. Crispy. This event right here that I created, guys, is honestly such a sick hero's journey. It really is. We created a different version of relay racing. Such an adventurous backcountry wild race. So many people came together to work on this thing. And this is the story of it. Obviously, we want more people living like this, loving like this, racing like this. And I'm so excited about it coming out because you know it's coming back next year. I'm definitely going to do another version of it too. I'm just going to keep on creating fucked up, crazy things and have the time of my life. And hopefully you guys have the time of your life too, because I'm building it for you guys. I'm just sitting on the peripheral trying to have a good time watching. But I can tell you right now that if you guys are in the mood for a real challenge and you want to do something that's out of your comfort zone, this is going to be it. And you got to build a sick team. If I were you, what's going to happen at the top of the YouTube episode, just below it, sorry, there's going to be a link to apply. Apply as soon as possible. Because basically, we're going to go from the top of the list down. And if we pick your team, there's only a certain amount of teams that get to come because we don't want too many people out there, too much traffic. And we want it to be thinned out so that people don't get to run with each other. They have to like kind of adventure on their own for a while. If you guys don't get at the top of the application, you will not be seen. But that comes out on Friday. That comes out on Friday. It does. Yeah, I'm not putting out YouTube content right now because I just recognize that I'm an athlete and everybody's just like so into this content game right now that if I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to run everybody into the fucking ground. Just tear them a new one. You guys can film me. I don't want to be filmed. I don't want to do the filming. I don't necessarily need to do the talking. We've been working on a lot bigger stuff. But this to me, occasionally showing up to a podcast, going on a rant, occasionally putting out a YouTube, way better answers. Like the insanity of just pumping out YouTube like content all the time. Nonsense. Nonsense. But it'll keep coming. You guys got to watch this on Friday. Check your YouTubes. This will be one worth watching. It's 40-something minutes, so get a case of beer. Get wild with it. Team, I got to go lift some weights. Maddie's going to lift heavy, and I'm super excited to just pump the beef. So do you need to watch it straight through for the algorithm? Okay, so Keeping It Real understands. Everybody who watched the documentary, even if you don't want to watch it, put it up on your YouTube, let it run all the way through, and then share it 10 times. Like, comment, subscribe, and then sign up for the race. What's up? Don't make this difficult, okay? I don't understand why I'm even fighting with you guys right now. Thank you, Keeping It Real. It's the first time you've said something of value in a while. You know I haven't talked to in a long time is Savan. And I like that guy. I like him a lot. But I just haven't heard from him in such a long time. I think he's kind of like a troll. He kind of recedes back onto the bridge. He can't be out in the sun for too long. He can't be in the sun for too long. I'll try to call in. I'm going to go over to the show. I mean, let's just see here. Can you do that? Can you go onto YouTube and call into the show while we have our own show? Let's see. Does he just have a show with Greg Glassman all the time? I feel sad that he's abusing that old man. I'm already in the notes talking shit. Okay. Guys, I'll miss you. I'll catch y'all soon. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, I'm probably not doing one of these shows for like another month. I leave for Australia on Friday. Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget about Friday. Bye.